know what is what.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is Cult of the Living Dead.
Should we get started then?
Sure.
All right. So, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cult of the Living Dead. This is day 2 of our Halloween bonanza. Today, we are covering The Dales, my favorite Halloween movie, which is the 1982 cult classic, The Thing. Another John Carpenter film. Wait, did we cover Carpenter already?
No, we're going to again. Oh yeah, we did. In
Into the Mouth of Madness. That's right.
Yeah.
Our second Carpenter film. As always, I'm your host, The Dale, followed by my two co-hosts, Mr. Saya.
Hello.
And Twan.
What up?
Just a quick reminder for returning guests and first-time listeners. We are a cult movie podcast. We cover cult classics, B-movies, and horror. None of us are academically trained in film critique, but we all love movies. Just keep in mind all these opinions are subjective, and enjoy the ride. Also, audience, to have you right now, if you get a chance, go and take the poll in our last episode, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode. I want to see the audience's opinion. What's your favorite slasher of the big four? So your choices are Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. I'm betting Halloween's going to be number one, but I'm excited to see what the audience says. All right, The Thing. This movie was directed by legendary horror director twice, kind of derivative, John Carpenter. He's the most known for his Michael Myers series, Halloween. He also directed some other classics like They Live, Into the Mouth of Madness, like we said earlier, and The Escape from New York, Escape from LA. The writers, completely random. Bill Lancaster, who mostly just writes The Bad News Bears, which is like a movie about a bunch of misfit kids who play baseball and beat like the rich kids in the neighborhood, which is so random to transition from The Bad News Bears to this movie. And I think it's based on the John W. Campbell book. I don't know if he was the director of The Thing from Another World. So they had a 1951's version of this movie. And so this is technically a remake or a reimagining, because from when I was reading afterwards, they're not very similar at all. The music was done by Ennio Morricone, who also did the music for The Hateful Eight and The Untouchables, I think are the two most notable movies. One thing that I found hilarious, little quick tidbit, is that this movie's music was nominated for a Razzie, but he used the unused music from this movie for The Hateful Eight, and that won him an Oscar. So what the fuck does that mean?
Wild.
Isn't that wild? I can't believe it. I commented so many times throughout this whole film, like, oh, the music and the soundscapes are so good in this scene.
Dude,
I didn't know that it got a Razzie. I mean, we'll get to it later. It was panned upon release. It was one of those movies that got like a revisit in the 90s, and people are like, hey, actually, this movie's pretty good. It stars Kurt Russell as McCready, Wilford Brimley as Blair, T.K. Carter as Knowles, David Clennon as Palmer, Keith David as Childs, and Richard Dysart as Dr. Copper. So the big star of this film is Kurt Russell. He's worked with Carpenter before on the Escape from New York series. For audiences who aren't familiar with those movies, he's the main bad guy in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He plays
Eos or Eons or Eros.
Ego. He plays Ego.
Yeah. He's what's his name's dad?
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord's dad. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Guardians 2 is the worst of the 3 Guardians movies.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that's cool. Keith David also works with Carpenter again too, and They Live.
Yeah, Keith David.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's a Scream King.
Apparently, he was a thespian, and he had to learn in this movie to act without putting his emotions on his sleeve, because you have to be really animated when you're doing theater because you don't have like a movie set.
Yeah.
So they had to like teach him like on the set, like, hey, dude, you gotta tone it down. You need to leave some mystery to your character. Like the audience can't know everything you're feeling at every moment during the movie. I thought was pretty interesting.
Nice.
It always shows me all these
It-
guys
it-
that play like these tough nosed guys, and they all end up being like a bunch of theater nerds.
Right?
Yeah.
John
Like fucking
Barenthal.
John Bernthal, yeah. All right, so I'll start off with my first impressions, my history of this movie, because this is my favorite horror movie. So I got introduced to this movie by my dad. He loves this movie too. I remember when we saw it for the first time, we bought it on DVD, and he's like, "Oh, let's watch The Thing." He put on got the surround sound pumping, and he's like, "I love this movie." He's like, "You're really gonna like this movie." He's like, "It's a cult classic." He's like, "I don't know why people didn't like it when it came out, but this movie rocks." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." My dad's like doesn't usually get so passionate about his movies.
Hmm.
And I watched it and I was like, holy shit, this movie is amazing. I think I watched it like 5 times that summer. It's so good.
Nice.
And I think I even rented the I don't know if you guys ever played the PS2 game.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that game too when I was watching the movie. Because that game is so fun. Like you have to manage your team's what was it, like sanity, or like
Yeah,
because everyone's like really suspicious of each other throughout the whole game.
it's
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. I was and like testing it out to see like if it still holds up, because I remember really liking that game and it being kind of hard as a kid. And then they also made a sequel to this movie, or a prequel sequel, in 2011, where you learn about what happens to the
The
Swedes, aka
Yeah.
the Norwegians.
But they're all Americans in that movie.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. No, I thought they were Norwegian, and
Well-
then they do that thing where they change their voices to English, so like they don't have to do it in Norwegian the whole time.
Yeah, so it's not dubbed or subbed.
Yeah,
Throughout the
yeah,
whole
like
movie.
like how they did with was it Valkyrie with Tom Cruise?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When
Well,
he's
sorry.
when they're trying to take out Hitler.
Yeah, because the movie starts in German and then it
Uh-huh.
slowly starts like distorting and goes into English to let the audience know they're speaking German this whole time. But
Yeah.
for you, the audience, it's in English because
Just
Huh.
to make it easy. It's
just
like
make
a
it easy.
consumer movie, consumer forward movie.
Like that new movie that just came out, Speak No Evil.
Was that the one with McAvoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That the
It
original
was
movie just came
original.
out 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and they already did a remake.
Oh dang, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like how they did with Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
Kinda. Yeah. I
was
hope
good. That's a
that
good
they kept, because I feel like the original was fucking great. Oh, you saw it already?
They didn't keep the ending.
Oh,
I know.
fuck.
I know.
The ending was so
Dude,
crazy. Like it was
yeah.
so heavy, like so fucking dark. Oh
Mhm.
man.
What country is it from? The original?
I think Spain.
España.
Dude, Spanish
Yeah.
fucking films. They make some banger like horror psychological thrillers.
They do.
Really?
I think like I don't isn't the Cabinet of Dr. Calibri. I think that's one of the original horror movies. I think
Oh,
it's
shit.
I think it's a Spanish movie.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you got Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even though he is Mexican, I think the film is technically Spanish.
Oh, can I say something from
Say it,
last
bro.
week's episode, dude?
Hmm.
So another fun fact from last week from Texas Chainsaw. That movie made Guillermo del Toro go vegan.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's funny that you mentioned him. But yeah,
Fucking
he
love
went
Guillermo
vegan.
del Toro. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
fun fact.
the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is German.
Oh
Mm.
shit.
Yeah, my bad. Take it out. Take it out. I don't
No,
want to
but,
do it.
different
No, but
European group.
yeah, but the Spanish do make like a lot of really good
Did
horror
they do
movies.
Wreck too?
They also did
No.
Record. Yeah. The
That's
Was
the
that
what?
original.
Spanish or was it
The original.
Mexican?
the-
Oh, good question.
I think it was Spanish, wasn't it? Let's see.
I love that movie. What was
Yeah,
the
that was
English
good.
version called?
It was called
Record.
No, Quarantine.
Nah, Quarantine. There you go.
Oh.
Quarantine. They're both good. I thought the American one was pretty
Yeah,
good
the
too.
remake was good. It was solid.
Because it was a shot
Yeah.
for shot remake. They didn't like
Yeah.
change anything.
It's Spanish.
It's Spanish.
Oh,
I love the
nice.
Record series. They made like 4 of them or something.
There's another one that came out recently on Shudder called Where Evil Lurks. That one was fucking crazy.
Oh, dude.
That one.
I want to
seems
see this.
sounds
Now that
familiar.
you Shudder. There's this apparently this funny zombie movie on there. This Japanese film called
Uh-huh.
I don't have my phone. like Don't Stop Recording or something, and it's about like kind of like Tropic Thunder. Like when
Uh-huh.
they're filming a Vietnam movie and then they end up being like in a jungle war. It's like they're filming a zombie
shit.
movie while a zombie outbreak like breaks out. So like how the director uses the actual zombies like in his film. It's
That's
supposed to
pretty
be
cool.
pretty good. I want to watch it.
Nice.
I forgot. It was
Where
something
Evil
about
Lurks?
record.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Where Evil Lurks.
Mhm.
Is that a remake of something, or is
Nah,
it's
that's
its own thing?
original story. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy too.
Was good.
Yeah, they yeah, I don't know. Are you guys gonna see it? Yeah, can I
Oh,
tell you
shit.
one? Can I tell
I'll
you
check
one
it out.
thing?
96 on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's go.
It's fucking good.
Dude, Shudder's been crushing it. Like, didn't Late Night with the Devil get
Late
like
Night
a
with the
90
Devil?
something?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
cool one. It
With
got
David
a little wacky
Dastmalchian?
at the end, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Let's get back to it. So, Twan,
Mm.
what's your experience with this movie?
Oh, dude, I love this movie. I absolutely adore this movie. I've seen it a handful of times. I haven't seen it as much as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But yeah, this is one of the few movies that I actually have a hard copy of. And
I
I
had the HD DVD, but
dude, what?
I had the
That's
HD
probably
DVD
a
of
fucking
it.
collector's edition or a collector's item now because that shit's not even around anymore.
Nope, I had it and I had a little attachment for the Xbox 360.
Nice.
So I used to watch them. And then we got the Blu-ray, obviously, but we
Yeah.
had the HD DVD and the original.
Yeah. My parents, they weren't big movie people, so I didn't have to. I wasn't able to like be introduced to a lot of bangers until later in life. I think Say is actually the person that showed me this movie. And ever since I've seen it, like it's just so fucking great. Like everything about this movie is great. But yeah, I love this movie. Love this time of year. I can't wait to talk about this movie more. But yeah, I have a strong history with this movie.
Hell yeah. What about you, Sam?
This movie is on my list of yearly like Halloween movies. Oh, in addition to watching this movie sporadically through the year, I have like a specific list of movies that I always put on during the spooky season. This is one of those movies. I got Aliens on there. I got like Hereditary. I got fucking your favorite movie, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It's like those movies that I just always put on because it just always reminds me of spooky season. I don't know how I got into this movie. I feel like it just like appeared on my doorstep one day and I just took it in. But I too had like I think I still have it actually. I have my DVD copy of the thing. It's just is a spooky season movie. It's like a standard movie in my household.
I've seen most of John Carpenter's stuff, and I personally think this is his best movie. I think this movie's better than Halloween.
Same.
I gotta say X-nay on that. I think Halloween.
You know what I think, which is unfair, but it's subjective. It's our opinion.
Think it, bro. It's your podcast.
I think the later entries of Halloween really diminish how good the original is. They're all sequels like of each other up until like H2O, and then it's like
Well, I guess
they just get progressively worse. So the thing is just this such a good just standalone film, and I think it's scarier than Michael Myers. But maybe there's more slashers that are good than there are movies like The Thing. And I love alien movies. I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
I hear you. But then by that, do you also say that like in any franchise, the more sequels there are, the worse the original franchise is?
I wouldn't.
No, I don't. I don't use
only,
that same.
Only
I don't use
Halloween.
that same logic for like.
You only use it for you only hate on Halloween because of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Well, I don't think he's hating on it.
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying it takes away from it.
Yeah,
I think a little bit, but
I don't think that it takes away from it. I do think that this movie is better than Halloween, only because it has more elements to it than Halloween. You know, Halloween is just your classic straightaway slasher film. Yeah. This has a thing, and the use of practical effects in this movie are just fucking
masterclass. They hold up so good. They hold up so good.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane. Especially you can compare this to like the prequel, the 2011 that uses CGI.
Oh,
And it's just like the practical effects are so much better. Why didn't they just do that?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It couldn't have been that expensive.
I hear you both. But fuck you guys. I love Halloween. I think Halloween.
I like
We're
Halloween
not
a lot
hating
too.
on
No, I know.
I think Halloween is an A
right now,
movie.
I'm standing in the
I
middle of
know.
a room, just helicopter spinning with my arms out.
I mean, it's my favorite of the big four.
Yeah.
Not gonna have to disagree with you there.
Fuck,
I mean, Texas Chainsaw is really good too, but I just think Halloween's the better movie. I got a cool little tidbit since we're arguing about Texas Chainsaw versus Halloween.
Was that the argument?
I
Hopper,
thought
No, it's
Hopper
it's
was
the thing versus
originally-
Halloween.
Hopper was originally signed on to be the director for this movie.
Crazy.
for the thing.
Yeah, him
Or-
and who's the writer in that movie?
From
Toby Hooper and Kim Henkel were like signed on originally to do the thing, and then the studio didn't like the way they were taking it, so they fired them.
damn.
Well, they wanted
Not their
John
thing.
Carpenter at first. They like he was approached, but he's like, "Oh, I'm an independent film director."
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, we'll get Hooper because he just had the success as Texas Chainsaw." And they're like, "Oh, we don't like your idea of what you want to do, so never mind."
Yeah, they probably wanted it to be in like the desert, and they wanted it to be icky.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like real sticky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they wanted these.
I mean,
like,
there was
we
a
need-
lot of stickiness in this movie, but
There was.
I
But
think-
this movie felt way more cold.
yeah.
I mean, is the snow is Antarctica not just a really cold desert?
Oh, brother.
It's just as barren and unlivable.
Damn.
All right. So I love the opening scene of the movie, the way this movie just opens up. It lets you know right off the bat, all right, we're dealing with aliens.
Yeah.
You get a spaceship flying through space, and then you can see like it's kind of like glitching, like malfunctioning, and you lose it over the horizon into the earth, and then you get that opening like crashing sound, and it says the thing. And then I love the opening music where it's just like a heavy bass line, like the dun dun
Yep.
dun dun. You're like, oh shit. And he just boom. It just kicks off right off the bat with the helicopter just chasing this husky. And these dudes just like speaking some foreign language, just fucking blasting at this dog. You're like, what the fuck is going on in this? Like, why are they trying to kill that dog? And I just love the like that whole chase sequence, because even from when they're like, shit, we can't shoot it, so we're just gonna start like chucking grenades at it from the helicopter, to when they land, they're like so hyper focused on killing this dog that like when it jumps to and it starts like kissing or whatever one of the Americans, the dude immediately just starts like blasting at him, like no hesitation.
On
And
site.
fuck, it was like, yeah, it was literally on site, and everyone's just like standing around. Like, I like how they're just watching. Like, why are they trying to shoot that dog? Like, what's
Right.
going on? Like, who are these people? Like, oh, it look like Norwegians. Like, huh, what are they doing over here?
It-
And then immediately just kicks off. It starts off with mystery. What is going on? Who the fuck are these people? And why are they trying to kill this like adorable looking husky?
I read that if you know like what language they're speaking, they basically give away like the whole plot of the movie within like that first like interaction with the Swedes and the
I heard
Americans.
that too.
Yeah.
I heard that if you
But,
I
but
don't
you
know if it
actually have
works
to
if
like
you-
know their language.
like, yeah, because I think if you put the subtitles on, it just says speaking in
doesn't.
Norwegian, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah,
tell you what they
it
say.
adds to the mystery.
Yeah, I know. That's one of my most like frustrating things when like movies don't translate foreign languages. But in this case, it actually works because if you were to know,
Yeah.
then it would literally just ruin the whole movie for you.
Interesting. It's like
Yeah.
back in the day in the old Medal of Honor games, if you put German on and then you put subtitles, it'll tell you what the Nazis are saying when you're like sneaking around and they're having their conversations.
Oh,
damn.
crazy.
But what I love about to get back to what I love about this scene is it does good character development without really like saying anything. Like, it's when you get introduced while all this is going on, it flashes to the Americans and you see them all just hanging out in the rec room. You know, McCready, Kurt Russell's character, he likes chess and he's like loves Jim Beam. Is it Jim Beam or
J&B?
J and B? Whiskey. we see that there's the stoner dude. I think he's the other pilot, the guy
Yeah.
who's like wearing the headphones, and we have Childs, and everyone else is just kind of like hanging around, like doing their day. We have the what's his name, Gary. You could tell he's like the sheriff of the whole operation. I was
Yeah.
curious as to what like Gary's role was, if he was just like the officer or whatever, because he's the only one that's packing a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like these brief interactions of just like a little character moments of who everyone is. And Niles is the cook, and then it breaks off uh to their interaction with the Swedes. And I like how the second that one of their guys gets shot, Gary just immediately just like breaks the window and just fucking headshots the Swede. I was like,
On
damn,
sight.
that dude was no hesitation. He's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of this like whole opening sequence and how they kind of set the mystery of what the hell is going on?
I forgot that it started with the space scene. For some reason I thought, and maybe it's because this is my spooky season movie and I typically watch this on a certain level, if you know what I mean. And so maybe I just black out like the beginning and then I come to once they're chasing the dog. Yeah, I thought still a great opening. And I always think it's funny that he also has like dynamite that he just starts throwing dynamite out of the helicopter to like blow up the dog. And then one of the dudes, because did you mention this already? Yeah, you did. You mentioned the interaction with them. One dude like tries to throw a dynamite once they land the helicopter, and it just completely fucks up, and he blows up the helicopter and like blows himself up and like just ruins the whole fucking mission because he has butterfingers.
Just like immediately just kills himself.
Yeah, it just immediately gets wrecked.
Yeah. No, it was a cool intro. Like you said, it like we're met with like questions right off the bat. You know, like what's this alien ship doing? Did it land on Earth? And I just want to mention that you said that it gets lost in the curve of Earth. So take that, flat earthers, fucking idiots. Anyways, yeah, I mean it makes us ask why. Like, why are these guys shooting at this poor dog? You know, why did that guy not know how to throw a fucking piece of dynamite? All of a sudden, he just didn't know how to fucking throw. I thought that was so hilarious that he just blew himself up.
Fucking butterfingers.
Dude, like why?
He's a fucking scientist. He's a fucking nerd. He didn't play no sports.
Right? I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, great intro.
I love how even in house of the movie, like we're part of the mystery with the crew.
Yeah.
Because they're all like, what the fuck was that all about? Like everyone's like actually like, why were they going crazy? And then I like how you get little like background tidbits, like someone's like, first week of fucking winter and already dealing with this shit. So you're like, oh, so it's winter. It's about the winter started already. So we already know like their lines of communications are fucked because Wendell is trying to reach somebody. And he's like, I can't reach nobody. I haven't heard shit in weeks. And they're like, well, keep trying. We got to report this. Like, this is fucked. And they're like, oh, well, maybe it's been cabin fever. And we're like, how could it be cabin fever? They've been there 3 weeks. That's not long enough for people to go stir crazy. We're like, I don't know what it is. And they're like, well, we should fucking check it out. And I like how the stoner guy's like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it. And Mac's like, nah, I'll do it. McCready's like, oh, thanks, McCready. Because I guess they're like, no, the conditions aren't really all that good to be flying right now, dude. It's about to get dark. And he's like, fuck it. Let's go check it out. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but like the whole time, the dog is kind of just like moving or staring, moving around, seeing like what everybody's doing, like being very like weird. I don't know if you guys have ever owned dogs, but dogs usually don't separate from the people. They usually kind of just stay by you the whole time, usually. But this dog was like mad suspicious. He was a mad little Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
It was they give it such personality.
Oh,
like,
the dog actor rocked in this.
Yeah, the dog actor was like on point. Like the dog was really good at like being a creepy ass dog. Even in other scenes, I think there's only one scene when it's like close to other dogs later on, but like it does still a really good job of being an actual actor in the movie, and it adds to the mystery of like, why
Yeah,
is
it
this
has
dog
character.
being weird?
Yeah.
And like that's the stare it has, like that blank stare, like it's so good. Like using a dog stare, it'll have like its tongue out or something. It'll have a little bit of personality, but this one just is like dead face stare, which I thought was crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
that's something I noticed this time that I didn't really pay attention to before. Being
Mhm.
like, damn, the dog's pretty interesting in this movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of on its own little, like you can tell that it's a little weird, especially if you like seen the movie before.
Yeah.
Little
Little
tidbit too, that dog is half wolf.
half wolf,
Nice.
half Malamute,
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
cool.
and his name was Jed, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
right.
the same dog that was shot in the opening scene. So the dog running and the dog at the base are two different dogs.
Yeah, they painted the running dog to look like Jed.
Nice.
I guess kind of fucked up painting a dog, but so
Part
McCready's
of the
like, fuck
acting
it.
gig, bro.
Yeah, true. It's like makeup.
McCready's like, fuck it, let's go check it out. And then it shows. I don't know if Gary just walks with them to the helicopter, but doesn't actually get in, and it's just McCready and the doctor go, right, Dr. Copper.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the Nord base and they find it all fucking burnt to a crisp.
Wait, we're gonna talk about his hat. He is
Oh,
like
I love
Yes.
his hat.
His fucking Pharrell Williams Park Ranger hat.
yeah, he is like the biggest hat out of everybody. And
And he puts it on
it
for
provides
no reason.
it provides like no cover from the fucking cold. It's just a big hat, just for the vibes.
Just it's part of his personality. He like fucking this dude's like is like an everyday
The
man, I guess.
Fashionista, that guy.
I guess it took Kurt Russell a year to grow his beard and that long hair that he has in the movie.
I thought you were gonna say it took him a year to find that hat. Once he found it,
That
it was
fucking
his.
Yosemite Sam fucking hat that he has.
He just
It's
have his
Prospector fucking
it like it's part of his outfit for the rest of the movie. Like he just doesn't take it off.
He loves that hat.
It's so funny.
And then they get to the Nord base and it's all fucked up. It's kind of cool because it kind of it's a little foreshadowing to what their base is gonna look like. Like they both come to the same conclusion on how to deal with the thing, which I thought was kind of interesting. So they get to the base, everything's all fucked up. We see our first, well, I guess technically not our first dead body because they did shoot that Nordic dude in the head. But we kind of see like the aftermath of a thing attack. And we see that one guy who's like sitting on the chair who slit his wrist down the middle and to the side and then cut his own throat and all the blood's just frozen. That shit looked fucking cool. That was a cool like prop. And he looks kind of like,
Yeah.
oh shit. And I like how the doc is like, what the fuck's going on over here? McCready's like, I don't know, but we gotta leave soon. It's gonna get dark. I'm gonna go check this back room. And then boom, we're hit with like this big block of ice with like a hole in it that looks like a coffin. Like there was something buried in here. I'm curious to what I remember. I don't remember. I should have looked at refrained myself because in the prequel, it shows you what the alien looked like before it defrosted, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what it looked like?
Like
It
a
looks-
symbiote or symbiote.
Yeah.
It is kind of like a symbiote, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Might have to explain that for some listeners.
It looks like Venom.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like Venom. It looks like a
It does look like Venom.
goo. Like
Yeah,
black
like
goo.
Like a ghoul, or like if you ever played Prey, kind of looks like those creatures.
Oh yeah.
The remake,
Yeah. Well, remake.
or
That was-
the
that was a remake?
sequel.
That was a
Well,
sequel?
because the original Prey came out in the PS2 Xbox era, and then they're supposed to make a Prey 2. Yeah, the original Prey are like a Native American. It's pretty cool. It's like your typical like that era type like first person shooter.
Is it, and it has like the same abilities and stuff like that?
No, that's why they like this one because they completely changed it. It's like
Oh,
a totally
interesting.
different game.
Oh, okay.
They both deal with aliens, but the first Prey is just more kind of like Turok, but aliens.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool game. It's worth a revisit. So then they're there at the base, and then I like how we get our first actual glimpse of the thing when they go outside and they see like a pile of dead corpses. And there was it McCready's, is that when he's counting the kerosene cans? Oh no, they do that with the pilots, and they see they had like 20 cans of kerosene, and then they compare it to when they're at the base and they see all those kerosene cans, and like you see this like distorted figure that's like charred and burnt, and then like even Dr. Cooper's like, what is that? Is that supposed to be like a man or something? Like, is there a man in there? What is that?
Mhm.
That shit look gnarly because they bring it back to their base, and it looks like you got somebody's head, you stretched it sideways and then try to rip it apart, kind of like taffy, but it has all the details of like what a human face look like. So you have teeth and eyes in places where they're not supposed to be. It looks insane. That when I saw this as a kid the first time, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, holy shit, that's fucking nasty. The practical effects were fucking great. What'd you guys think about like what happened to the Nords and kind of our first introduction to what happens when you come in contact with the thing?
It was cool. I mean, I know we there's a couple parts that we kind of glanced over when it comes to the dog. So when they're initially flying off, we're shown that the dog has been kicking it with them the whole time in the rec room. And then during the time when they're in the Swedes or the Norwegians base, there's a scene with the dog kind of just casually strolling down the hallway, and we see it go into someone's room. But I love what John Carpenter did here is that he didn't show us whose room it was. We were just shown a shadow figure, and this figure turns and looks at the dog, and like there's an obvious interaction between whoever that was and the dog. And I don't know, just another one of those things.
Yeah, I like that too, because that the whole mystery is like us, the audience, we don't know who to trust either. We don't know who a thing is. And like I've done it so many times trying to like figure it out. Like, oh, are there any signs of like which one's a thing and which one's not a thing? But it's not really. It's kind of hard. You can only really tell like right when it's about to like show itself. But up until that point, it's pretty hard to tell. Like we'll get to the end and like the of whether or not we think they're the thing or not. But I like that mystery. I like how good they are at at us, the audience, not giving us like I forget what the term is. I think object superiority. So we're also in the mystery with them. Or audience superiority. Because usually the audience knows something that the actors don't know, or the characters in the movie, because we're given additional information, but we don't have that in this film. So we're also along for the mystery, which I love. But that fucking autopsy was first part of the scene where I was like, damn, these special effects, dude.
Yeah, I was trying to look up to see like who did all the special effects for this, and I didn't find who it was. Do you guys know who it was? But because they did.
Yeah. His name is I don't know if it's Britain or Breton. It's Britton. Dude was only 21 years old, dude, when he did this.
Did a great
crazy.
Yeah.
That dude's a legend.
Yeah,
like, what skill at 21?
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I wasn't that good at anything at 21.
Such an awesome, awesome job.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, I'm looking them up now, and I see that they also did Total Recall and RoboCop and 7.
Ooh, RoboCop, nice.
Yeah, all those movies were great. Like the special effects like does a really good job of like putting you in there with them to see all this crazy shit. Like I feel like they could have potentially used CGI because we've seen CGI in like some other movies, but I don't think it would have hit the same way it hit like it did for this movie. Like this movie is way more, even though it's about like an alien, it feels a little bit more grounded and like gritty and raw because it's just like they're there with these creatures, the thing, and it just looks fucking ridiculous the whole time.
Yeah, there's only one instance in this movie where I can obviously tell where they use CGI.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think everything holds up like really well.
At the beginning.
Oh, with the spaceship?
Yeah.
No, I meant with the thing itself.
Oh.
Was the spaceship CGI or was that like a miniature?
It could have very well been a miniature, yeah.
Yeah.
True. But I don't know, the way it kind of like went into the curve of the Earth.
Yeah,
it kind of looked a little CGI.
Little computer generated, no.
And
are you saying the curve of the Earth is CGI?
Whoa. We are living in a
Damn it.
simulation. From this point on, or to this next segment of the movie, I just put things get really weird.
They do get really weird.
They do. During the autopsy, we're also shown a shot of the dog, like again,
Just staring.
just staring.
Well, is it this scene or was it before they left where the dog's like in the control room and he's staring out the window looking
That's
at them leave?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
He's
when
under
they
the pool table.
yeah when they first take off, he's just like staring out the window, like yes, go check out what happened over there. I'll stay up
later-
here.
Go see what I've done.
Yeah,
Later on, they show the dog again and he's by himself in a room looking out like it looks like a big like observatory type window. And I don't know, in my head canon, I'm like, oh damn, is the dog kind of like, fuck, did they figure out what's going on? Damn, I gotta accelerate my plan.
I think the dog is just fucking. I like that they give it so much personality and character, even though you don't really know what's going on. I guess you can get like a couple of hints maybe, but if you don't know what's going on in this movie, like the scenes with the dog are like so weird, and it's just like the dog is its own actor at this point
Yeah,
because
it's really good.
yeah, like really, really good of just like staring off or just staring at people, just being real creepy. Like such a good choice. That dog was a good actor. I hope they went on and did great things after.
And then back to the like the special effects, dude. The level of detail that they have in that creatureling that's on the table is fucking so good. Like they really fucking sculpted that thing to make it as noticeably unnoticeable or as visually noticeable while also being completely foreign at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's like a
So-
word for that, isn't there? Where it's like it's something familiar but also
not familiar.
mysterious. Yeah,
I
like
it.
they do that with
Picasso.
like art.
Yeah, they do
Hmm.
do that with art.
Maybe it's just surreal. Is that the word?
It is a little surreal. Maybe it is just surreal. Because I know surrealism is morphing like
Familiar
everyday
things.
life. Yeah, like familiar things.
Yeah, because it has like somewhat of a shape.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just has recognizable features, but it's still like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like also completely foreign at the same time. And then from this is where shit really starts fucking kicking it up a notch. Like
Yeah,
this is like 25 minutes into the movie, and then they tell what's the guy's name? The guy who's all gay for the dogs.
he's the dog handler.
He's the
not
dog
gay
guy.
for- His name is Clark. What the
Clark, yeah. Clark's all gay for the dogs.
He's fucking the dogs or what?
I don't know. Cause like
He's
when-
just the dog guy, dude.
later on where they're like Blair killed the rest of the dogs and they're like dealing with trying to unarm this fucking guy with a pistol. Clark's like, killed the dog, and he just turns around and just like
He just
books
starts
it down the hallway.
Full
just
speed.
immediately gives up on trying to fucking take Blair down. I was like, damn, fucking handle this first, dude. The dog's already dead.
I don't know, bro. Those are his pride and joy.
He's
Yeah.
out there doing fucking
He's a pack
mouth to
leader.
mouth. I guess that's true. So Clark puts the dog in the dog kennel, and I like how like immediately like the other dogs start making noises and looking at it like, what the fuck is this thing? Like they could, because animals have that sense. They
Yeah,
could just tell something was wrong. They start fucking like whimpering. Some start growling and barking at it. But I like how the thing wastes no time. Like the second Clark turns off the lights and like leaves the room, it immediately goes into like assimilation mode.
yeah.
Yeah.
It shoots out those like strings from its body and starts like roping the dogs. And I like how that one dog's just like, oh fuck this, and it tries to like bite its way out of the cage. Like it
Yeah.
almost gets out. Like it does a pretty good job, but then it gets slimed by the like because the thing turns into like, I don't know. I put this as spider dog because it turns into
Yeah.
like a spider-like thing. And then is it McCready hears that like shit's going crazy
Yeah.
in the room, so he hits the fire alarm.
Mhm.
McCready's like the most competent person here. He's like mad quick on his feet.
Yeah.
Like,
And he
instead of,
doesn't even he
calling
doesn't
somebody, he just alerts the whole base.
yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't even go check it out. He just hears it. He's like, "Oh, fuck that." And he just immediately like pulls the alarm.
Pulls the alarm. While
Well, 'cause
also
it start-
drinking J&B.
It's making like the craziest noise.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like the
Mhm.
noise that this thing makes throughout the movie is so fucking unsettling.
Yeah, the
It's
sound
like-
design for the thing
The
is
thing?
is really really good. Because it's
Or when it
yeah.
has like its howl when it like looks
Yeah.
at them and it just opens its mouth and starts howling. That shit's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
And then I love it. So Clark goes and he checks because like he's the closest. And McCready comes with the shotgun, and then Clark opens up the like gate, and we see the like thing dog, and it has its tentacles around the other dogs. Luckily, some of the dogs managed to escape, and it fucking it. I like how it splits its head open. Like you even see the dog's skull pop out as like it
Mhm.
splits its head open, and then it produces its own little like dog head that like comes out of its chest.
Yeah.
It looks all fucking grotesque and shit. Well, like it spiders itself up to like the roof, and I like how McCready like immediately is like, "Tell Childs to come with a fucking flamethrower, dude." Like we fucking tell him to get his ass over here. I wonder if that's him like realizing like, okay, those other people used fire and they dealt with some crazy shit. So you get the flamethrower, bring that shit over here. I wonder if that's a common practice to have a flamethrower. I guess maybe if something gets frozen over, it'll be easy to like melt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
then
That's how
Child-
I rationalize it.
Giles hesitates because everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on? They're just staring at this thing, this grotesque creature. And I like how McCready's like, oh, fuck that then. And he fucking burns it. And then there's just like a calm after that where everyone's just kind of like looking at each other after they like handle the situation. And they're like, what the fuck was that all about? And they're all just like discussing with each other, like, holy shit, what the fuck did we just start going through? And Blair's like, I don't know, but I'm gonna do some like investigating. And then from that point on, they start that's when they just start to review some of the documents and videotapes that they got from the Norwegians to try and figure out what the fuck is actually going on. What is it that they found? And like what are they now dealing with? And I'm like, is this where Blair goes in the computer and he has like this super high advanced computer? I don't think computers are that like crazy in the 1980s.
No.
This is a computer that's older than the mouse. That's how old this computer is.
Yeah, there was no mouth. And it has like the most like craziest like analysis of like blood.
He puts the blood in and you see it like eat the blood cell and then like replicate it. And it's like, oh, complete like foreign object replication. If gets to main population. Like what did it say? Death within, I wrote it down, 27,000 hours, which is exactly 1,125 days, which I'm pretty sure is 3 years. So they said it'd take the thing 3 years to destroy the entire population.
Damn. Pretty quick.
And then Blair's just starts acting weird because, well, he learned, I guess, like, oh shit. We all like I think he's the first one to come to the conclusion that none of us can leave here alive.
He does, but it's also kind of sucks that he comes to it alone because then later on everyone treats him like he's a fucking black sheep, but he's actually trying to do good. But I also understand
he does
why.
crack though.
Yeah, he cracks,
Yeah.
and I understand why he doesn't tell anybody because he doesn't trust anybody at that point in time. Like he like knowing the knowledge, the forbidden knowledge, he's like fuck it, I got to do this solo. But this is the beginning of his crack.
What was your guys's like? I mean, we've seen it 1,000 times, but like the whole, I feel like the dog. I mean, everyone has their favorite thing moment. I feel like its favorite transformation. I think the dog one isn't my favorite, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, and then the fact that it grows its fucking hands and then it pulls itself up. Like, what
That
the
does
fuck?
like a fucking pull up. It's just beefy.
These things, man, they're like I wrote that they're like onions because they have layers.
I guess Carpenter and
What a chef thing to write.
It reminded me of Shrek because like they always peel it back.
Oh my god, it
There's
reminds
like
me of
more
Shrek.
shit underneath. You know?
Hell yeah!
That's so funny.
What a good comparison.
I guess Lancaster and Carpenter, their approach towards the thing and how like it could replicate so many things for every situation is like, and they're in like the script or whatever they're storyboarding.
Mhm.
They were saying this alien creature has traveled the galaxies and come in contact with so many different types of creatures. So it has like memory of everything that's assimilated in the past. So that's how it's able to replicate itself to fit any environment that it needs to fit into. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's super cool. That
That's
makes it
some cool
hella
lore.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it also, it's like, how the fuck did the dog get arms? Like, how did it know to do that? But it's just like, oh, it's
Right.
replicated something with arms before, something
Yeah.
with claws before. So it knows how to, like, when it tunnels later on, it's like how to become a big worm because it fucking assimilated Dune.
Damn. Muad'Dib just dead.
Muad'Dib. Damn, that's a Muad'Dib.
That's Dune 4.
So do you, all right. So this scene is, I don't know. I love it. Fucking from this point on, this is where like the paranoia I feel like really starts to like kick in. And I like the way they handle the thing, the way that they bring everyone together and you can tell like they are a crew, like they're a research team, and how as things progressively get worse, as we'll see, it starts as like a collective of people trying to figure it out, and how the distrust of who's the thing and who isn't the thing starts to like slowly eat away and kind of break up the camaraderie. But like at the very beginning, it's like a team-based effort. No one is really taking the lead, even though Gary's technically in charge. They all seem to have like equal like opinions and ideas, and they kind of try to like work it through and like lean on everyone's expertise. So like, well, Blair, you analyze it. Doc, what the fuck do you think is going on? We're gonna go through all this like documentation. We're gonna try and figure out what the hell this is. I thought that was super cool. I thought that was a good way of showing like of like just filmmaking in this entire movie. It's a good point of storytelling without actually saying anything.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of the few movies that does like a really good, it's almost like a who done it, but
Definitely.
it also incorporates like aliens and you know like creature feature and in the same like breath. And so I really, that's one of my favorite aspects of the movie besides the actual like visual effects. I think it handles like a group paranoia really well. And you can just see it, you can see their whole group deteriorate over time and just no one trusts each other by the end.
When is it? Is it after this? It's after this when they decide to go look for the spaceship, right?
They go, yeah, after this they decide to go back to the to the Swedes place, and then that's when they find the site where they dug up the block and they see like the ship.
I don't know. I wrote this down. I thought it was pretty funny. How like they get to this ship, and I was like, damn, how in shape are these dudes that they're like, all right, well, we're gonna rock climb down this like scale this fucking cliff of ice and then climb our way back afterwards. I'm like, damn, that's fucking cool.
It is like a hella like, it looks like the Grand Canyon size.
Yeah, it's fucking
Like,
massive, dude.
And
It's
they
at
just
least 100 feet.
they just climb down in and then they climb back up. That's it.
And I like how after what they saw, I mean, I guess you try to rationalize it, but like after what everyone witnessed in the dog kennel, and then like Mac and is it the doc who go? They're like the main investigators, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They go and like they're like, yeah, we found a spaceship. Like this shit's fucking crazy. And they're like, nah, you're bullshitting. It's like, nah, dude, like it's I don't know what the fuck we're dealing with, but this shit's crazy. And then this is when we also find out, is it Blair that finds out? He's like, oh, the cells are still alive because they're talking about it's Benny and the weed guy. I forget his name.
Palmer.
Because Palmer. They're like, dude, we should just take this body out and burn it. And then Palmer's like, oh, you can't burn the fucking scientific find of the century. Someone's gonna win the Nobel Prize for that.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right. And then it starts like leaking. So you're like, oh shit. And then we learn like simultaneously, like, oh, the cells aren't dead yet. And when we get back to Benny, he's like fucking all tied up, like a by like a tongue like thing.
Yeah.
And he's all fucked. That shit look horrible, dude. That look like a horrible way to go out.
Mhm. And it happens so fast too. Like you only see like for like a quick glimpse and then he runs out.
Yeah, and Benny gets assimilated super quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like it turns into a full on like Benny thing really fast. Because Palmer starts yelling, and then Benny just like books it outside. And then that's when we see the howl, right? Where there's a
Yeah, he has his fucking claw hands.
Yeah, his
Mhm.
claw hands. Like he was almost done assimilating to him. Like it was almost done.
Mm-hmm.
They do a good barbecue roast.
And then that's when they decide, like, all right, everything's still alive. We gotta fucking burn everything. And they put everything in a pile with the kerosene and the gasoline, and they just fucking burn it. And I like the little details too, how they make the pit with the snowplow, burn everything, and then they bury everything with the snowplow. It's like these little details, like they didn't have to show that, but it's just like another layer in the movie that I really enjoy. And then while all this is going on, this is when Blair flips. Blair goes from being like investigative guy to losing it like immediately.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think after what he saw, and then
Benny getting infected, huh?
yeah, he's like, "Fuck it!" Like this is it. This is where I got to make this decision.
Oh, that's right. Because we didn't mention, but the computer also tells him like not just how long it would take to kill the world, but that the computer predicted at least one or two people have been infected already.
Yeah.
His beast ass 1980s computer.
Yeah, the
Dude,
computer
the AI that they have already is so good because the chess computer was AI, and then fucking Blair's computer is AI.
I know
It's before
all
its
bomb.
time.
All bomb. They're cutting edge. This Blair goes fucking crazy and just destroys the radio room.
After he destroys the helicopter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He destroys the helicopter too.
Yeah. No escape.
And he just fucking axes everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, I'm not crazy." He's just yelling.
As he's yelling, just fucking swinging shit around.
Just like shooting at people.
That's the perfect way to show that you're not crazy, is just to start yelling as loud as you possibly can and swing things.
Yeah, but then this is where fucking Clark gets all wet for the dogs and he finds out that they fucking got murdered and he just abandons the mission to like take Blair out. And then again, McCready.
Why are you hating on this dude?
I know, dude.
He just loves his dogs, bro.
It's like a crisis situation. He just abandoned ship to go build some dogs real quick.
Fucking hating on the guy because he likes the dogs.
McCready takes the lead and he gets that like table to absorb the axe hit while fucking Childs rushes in and tackles fucking Blair. Blair is all strong too. He pushes off like 3 dudes.
Yeah.
He doesn't go down until fucking McCready like knocks him out.
He's a sneaky build.
Yeah.
He's got that fucking drunk bod.
It's also it's because he's like low to the ground and he's kind of like heavy. So
low mass. Yeah.
he has like a lot of like he's like a lot of like center mass, so he's able to fucking just push people off.
I wrote that Blair probably got overstimulated.
He did.
He did actually. Yeah. He really did, dude.
I like how McCready knocks out Blair and everyone's like, "Nice, McCready, good shot." And I wrote, this is where the infections begin, because by this point Benny's infected and someone else is infected by this point too.
I think by this time Palmer's already infected, right? Palmer or Charles, because they've already been assimilated.
Which one's Charles?
The guy you were calling a fat guy.
Oh yeah,
or Norris. His name is Norris.
That's his name. Yeah, are Norris and Palmer is for sure infected. Oh yeah, and so is Norris. So all 3 of them were infected already.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I thought the dog talked to. I thought he talked to Norris. That was my guess. I thought that his head shape with his hair resembled Norris's shadow.
Yeah, could have been. I didn't like check any of the small details, like to see if there was like a name tag on the fucking door or anything like that. But it was just a mysterious shadow. Could have very well been Charles or Norris.
I wonder when it caught Palmer though, because we do get moments where people could have been infected, because Clark's alone with the dog for like at least an hour, but it chooses not to infect Clark because everyone's suspicious of Clark right off the bat, because like he's the dog handler guy. So you were with the dog alone the most. You're probably definitely a thing, but nobody really suspects the other guy. So I like how it like picks and chooses when to attack people, but also how dumb it is No, I don't think Palmer is infected yet. Because when Benny gets infected, Palmer's the one that calls out to help. And if Palmer was a thing, would he do that?
Maybe.
I mean, when you're trying to fit
Assimilate?
in, and yeah,
Mhm.
and not
I-
be suspicious.
Yeah, I think each and he says it McCready says it later on, but like each piece of the thing is its own self-sustaining thing. So if he was trying to like live, probably wouldn't call himself out.
Also, I know they were talking about it, the
Yeah.
directors. They didn't come to, I don't think they came to a definitive yes or no, but they said that since the thing's a perfect replication, it's possible that you don't even know you're a thing.
Damn, until you're the thing.
Yeah, until it like becomes a thing,
Crazy.
until it reveals itself. And I'm like, that is kind of
sounds
true
terrifying.
because when they do the blood test and their blood's about to be tested, everyone looks worried, like, holy shit,
Yeah.
am I infected? Like everybody's worried about it, which is kind of interesting.
But I feel like the dog like has the most sentience when it comes to
Yeah.
like its scenes, and so I think that potentially maybe like the human versions didn't really know until like the last second, but like I feel like the dog's main goal was to spread, and so it kind of knew, because like there's scenes where it seems like it knows that it's actually the thing, and like it's just observing these humans like trying to investigate what's going on, and it takes opportunity to like infect other people, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
mean,
That's true.
And it could just realize that it's a dog and that humans have a soft spot for dogs, and
Mhm.
it was able to get away with like not being as dog-like,
Yeah,
just for the simple fact that it was a dog.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So then after Blair fucking goes haywire, they throw him in that shed. They're like, all right, Blair, this is your home now. He's like, I don't want to be in there. They're like, well, too bad, Blair. You should have fucking acted like a crazy person. It is
And
kind of cool that everything is like temperature controlled. But then
Mhm.
but then their walls are also made out of fucking paper, because when I think that it's later on, I don't remember who's on fire, and they just like bust through the wall like all easily, and like the
Yeah.
research, I think it's later on when they're doing the blood test, huh?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how strong is this thing that it just fucking Kool-Aid Man did this like research facility wall that's like insulated and meant to keep like negative 80-degree weather like out of a building. Like, holy fuck.
Well, it's also an alien, so I
That's
feel like
true.
it's immediately stronger than us, and so even though the wall did seem thin, it was probably not a thin wall, and it was like every building was like that too, right? So when they put Blair in the shack, the shack is still like pretty insulated, so I mean
Yeah.
he's just still
Yeah,
chilling in there.
that's where McCready was. That was his like dorm.
No,
Area.
McCready's was
No.
the one. McCready's had
It's a
McCready
two-story.
he was in the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Because I
Yeah,
thought
he didn't sleep with the rest of the
they
crew.
they radio them. They're like, we're gonna put Blair in this. Like, McCready, get your shit.
Hmm.
No, yeah, that was it was the storage room, so everyone stored their stuff in there.
Oh,
But McCready, because they're like, oh, let's throw him in your shed. He's like, fuck that, we're not throwing him in my tower. We're gonna put him in the shed. And
Yeah.
they're like, all right, let's put him in the shed. He's like, fuck that, he's not going in my room.
Mhm.
Because McCready's like doesn't sleep with the rest of the crew. He's off on
Yeah.
his own. I think he's like the watchman or whatever.
Yeah. With his hat.
yeah, all drunk
with
all
his
the
hat.
time.
Yeah, playing chess. I mean, what else could
I
you do?
mean,
Like
but he
Childs
just-
and Palmer are just smoking like fat joints all day. Like they're rolling some fatties, dude.
Yeah, but he fucking destroyed the computer for everyone. I wrote this down. Like, he ruined the chess for everyone. Right,
Yeah, the
right
chess
in the beginning.
machine?
Right in the
the
beginning.
first
Yeah.
first week of winter.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
just
fuck this computer.
smashes it.
Nobody
Fucking-
gets to play chess.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, that dude, I forgot this, but fucking poor Windows, man. Like he was just like in the corner, all fucked up in the radio room as Blair was like destroying everything.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he was.
And then what's it called? Fucking They're like, all right, Doc, well, we could do a blood test when they're burning, when they're putting Blair, and then they get back and all the blood got sabotaged. And I put from this point on, suspicions start to run wild because they're like, well, Gary has the key, but only the Doc accesses that locker. So who did it? I wonder who did it because we'll find out soon that the Doc and Gary aren't things. They're not assimilated. So who got into that locker? Who was able to get that key and open it? It's never revealed. Because
One of the
Gary's like,
biggest
well, I guess
mysteries.
somebody could have lifted it from me. And they're like, bullshit, dude. You have that shit so fucking like tied up on your ass. There's no way it could have got lifted from you. So I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, I wonder who sabotaged it. But then fucking Windows, when this happens, he's like, fuck that. And he just like books it away from everybody to go grab a shotgun.
Smart.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
And it's like, shit, dude. And then this is where we find out. This is where McCready becomes a de facto leader. Because Gary's like,
Yeah.
all right, you guys don't trust me anymore. So I'm gonna do the smart thing and I'm relieving myself of being the leader. And then that's he asks Norris to do it. And Norris is like, nah, dude, I'm not up for that. And then McCready's like, fuck it, I'm the leader then.
Hmm.
He just takes charge.
He does. It's the hat.
It's the hat.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
funny.
Someone shows up
It's a powerful
with,
hat.
with that hat. They're the leader, dude. You lead with
Yep.
that hat.
And then they immediately like kind of try to figure out who's the Doc, which is who's the thing. And it's just hit me right now. Which I think is interesting because how good the thing is. So McCready's like, all right, I'm the leader. We're sedating the doctor, Gary, and Clark.
Mhm.
So the dog guy, the sheriff guy, and the doctor. Everyone who they suspect had been around the thing or could have had access to the blood. And we later find out that all three of them were uninfected.
Mm-hmm.
So the three people that they thought were infected were not infected at all. Where it was the rest of the crew where the thing was actually hiding, and that's how good it was at camouflage.
Well, fucking Blair, right before McCready leaves, he's like, watch Clark, keep a close watch on him. So like, I mean, we find out later, but he's trying to, get the scent off of his trail.
Yeah, he's sowing doubts.
Yeah.
And even he's in Fugues, right? The guy with the glasses, because he kind of realizes early on that McCready's kind of taking the lead because he meets with them. He's like, can we talk outside? And they talk in the snowplow. And he say he's worried about Clark? Oh no, he says I'm worried about Blair. He's like, Blair's acting kind of weird. Can you go talk to him? And he's like, oh man, like I'm fucking tired, dude. He's like, come on, dude. He's like, all right, I'll speak to him. And then like soon after this, Blair kind of loses it.
Yeah.
And then I wonder, and then Fugue sees somebody in the snow, right? And he chases after him,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
which makes no sense. I don't know why he decided to do this. And then Fugue dies off screen. We don't know how he dies, but they find his burnt body. And he finds a torn up jacket of McCready. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
He sees it on the ground, and then later he gets burnt to a crisp. I wonder who he sees. I wonder who he was chasing.
I like that there's so much
Blair?
like
Think it was
mystery
Blair?
around
Yeah.
potentially.
You think he was assimilated that soon?
Yeah, dude, because don't we find out later that he has the tunnel?
Yeah, that's right. I wonder if it was Blair who got assimilated right off the bat and not Norris.
Mm.
But why would he like destroy all of the communications and way out?
Because yeah.
Because he wants them to come.
He wants
because
them to be stuck because he's building his own thing.
Well, then not
Mm.
only that, but they also realize if they're stuck, they can't reach them. They have to send a rescue team. So they just wait it out because I don't think the things eat anything. They just chill.
Yeah, they can go to sleep.
So then they're like, oh, maybe Fugues burnt himself instead of becoming one of those things. I wonder if that happened. Do you think he did that?
I don't know, man. That's a pretty shitty way to go out.
I mean,
If
it's
you're gonna
that or
off
become
yourself.
an alien.
I mean, it's that or take someone's gun and just do it that way. Why burn yourself?
I wonder if that would kill a thing, though, if you shot it in the head. Probably not, because all its
Probably
cells
not.
are alive.
Yeah.
True.
So in order to not become a thing, he burns himself to a crisp.
Yikes.
I know. Fuchs was smart. Him and McCready were like the two most competent people.
Yeah.
Because Fuchs gets put in charge of coming up with another testing method because they don't trust the doc.
Oh yeah.
It's like the thing starts targeting the people that are the biggest threat because it tries to go after McCready by making it seem like McCready's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ends up killing Fuchs.
True.
But it's crazy because the thing that killed Fuchs interacted with Fuchs enough that it managed to get that jacket back because they plant the jacket in McCready's shed later on.
Mm-hmm. The torn up,
the
torn up jacket.
Yeah. Which I find to be very interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the thing's smart, has a plan.
I like how much like off camera like interaction the thing has, and it keeps you kind of guessing of like you're putting all of this together, right? But if you're watching the movie, you have to really think about it. Like, damn, like how did all of this happen? But because we've all seen the movie enough, we can all kind of guesstimate like what really happened. But
yeah,
there's like so much interaction and like so much mystery around all of it, and like who's the fucking thing? Where did this person get infected? Like how did all this happen? I really like that this movie does that in a really good way. And a really entertaining way too, because it just stays like constantly like on edge of what and who the fuck is going on.
I mean, I feel like you can make a whole nother movie just with all the off-screen shit that happened during this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could be like a whole nother side of the story, you know?
I just want the dog story.
That'd be cool.
like a YouTube short of just the dog just going around, just
being the thing.
Infecting people.
Yeah.
Starting off from the new thing and then his like journey from the new thing to the old thing.
It's like Air Bud, but it's the thing.
Yeah.
Thing in me.
Thing in me.
Instead of Marley and me.
Fuck.
That's funny. And then this is where shit really starts to fucking hit the fan. Because they're like, all right, fuck that. Fuchs is dead. We keep dying. That's it. We're boarding up the whole outpost. Nobody gets in. Nobody gets out. And they're like, all right, we're going to split up. He's like, no, come with me because we need to go to my shack. And they're like, what for? He's like, because last time I was in there, I shut the light off. And then this is where Knowles comes back. And they're like, where's McCready? He's like, I cut him loose. I cut him loose at the line. And they're like, what? Why'd you cut him loose? And he's like, look, I found this. And he shows him the torn up jacket. And they're like, it was stuff like he was trying to hide it. I don't think he noticed me get it. And then you hear a crash. And McCready's in the storeroom with the stick of dynamite. Like, not even just a stick. He has a bundle. He's like, I'll blow this whole fucking place up. You guys better back the fuck up. And the whole time, him and Childs have been beefing it. Childs has been like real confrontational with McCready. Because he's like, I'll do it, Childs. Just put that fucking flamethrower down. He's like, all right. But then they try to bum rush it. And I put fat guy dies, but I learned his name. It's Norris. Because McCready like pushes Norris off and he falls and he hits the back of his head on like a cabinet or something, right?
Yeah, this scene showed how fucking beefy McCready is, because they try to surprise attack him with two people while he has a bundle of dynamite and a flare, and he manages to fight them both off and not light it on fire, like, or ignite it. Yeah.
That adrenaline was pumping. Well, we saw he's all strong because he scaled the Grand Canyon like a couple days prior.
Yeah,
true.
Forgot about that. It's also the hat. The hat gives him power.
That's true.
Yeah.
The hat's the secret. It's like Samson's hair. And then shit just.
Nice.
This is where McCready really takes over. He's like, all right, fuck that. He's like, give me the fucking flamethrower and the gun, and he keeps I like how he never lets the dynamite away. He just has dynamite on him, like from that point on.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, fuck this.
So down to fucking take everyone down with him to show that he's not a thing.
Not a thing. He's like, I'll kill us all. I don't give a fuck.
Real scorched earth type shit. I mean, at this point, I would do that too.
Yeah.
And this is where we get, which I think is one of the craziest moments in the movie. Like the death of the doc is so fucking wild. Like, so, and like when I saw this, I was like, damn, that was a creative ass death. So they call the doc over, they like untie him because Norris is like having a seizure. and the doc's like, oh fuck, he tries to revive him with the defibrillator, so he's like trying to shock him. And I think like on his fourth try, Norris's stomach opens up to like a stomach mouth, and his arms go into his stomach, and the fucking thing just rips his arms off. That shit was fucking wild, dude.
Yeah. This whole
Such
scene.
a great death. Yeah, the whole
This-
scene.
Yeah.
It shit was, and then they're just fucking burning its body while Norris's like head is detaching itself from his body, and it turns into like a little spider creature.
The
Dude,
That
the spider creature
Oh, yeah,
like
nice.
is my like favorite creature from the thing.
it's
Like,
so cool.
It's such an iconic like scene when the head pops off and then little legs and like antenna come out, and like it's not antenna, it's eyes. That's such like it's used all the time. If you go to Universal Studios Horror Nights, they have like they show clips of that, and like anywhere that you've ever seen a clip of the thing, like that's one of the things that you see.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so fucking unhinged. Like it is. And it's also kind of funny because like when everyone sees it, they're like, what the fuck? Like you gotta be fucking kidding me.
all while another part, like his head turns into like a centipede type thing.
Yeah.
He's like
Oh yeah.
yelling at them. So like we get the mouth, the fucking stomach mouth, and then a centipede head, and then a fucking little spider head. I don't know. This whole scene was fucking bananas.
It was crazy. Like the Norris thing like went full on like, oh, this is what the thing can do. Cause it went from mouth stomach to popping off his head to growing a new centipede head like so fast. Like that all happened so quickly. It's kind of insane how fast that all happens.
Yeah, I think this scene made like top 10 scariest moments ever.
Really?
Yeah. Shudder did a top 100.
I remember watching this as a kid and being like, what the fuck? Like, holy shit, what am I watching?
Right.
And like even everyone in the room does such a good job of just like freaking the fuck out. Because everyone is just freaking out.
Yeah. And then I like the pause that everyone has when they see the spider thing. It's like a moment of like, what the fuck? Like everyone pauses all at the same time before McCready fucking blasts it. But yeah, the silence was really loud.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was I think it's one of the few like kind of comedic moments too, but just because everyone's reaction is like no fucking way.
It's just so ridiculous. It was so off the wall crazy, like the head becoming its own thing.
And it just pops off from here. Like we get thing after thing after thing because McCready's like, all right. And the doc just dies too, which kind of sucks. He just like bleeds out on the floor.
Yeah.
And so McCready comes up with the test. He's like, all right, he gets like a spool of wire and he shaves off the rubber coating. And he's like, I came up with an idea. I'm taking a bit of everybody's blood and I'm going to heat this wire and I'm going to fucking test it to see if it's a thing or not. He's like, what did he say? He got the idea from somebody mentions it like every cell of it's alive. So if every cell's alive, then it's going to try and get away from a hot needle.
Yeah.
I think it was McCready when he sees the head come off and like the head was its own thing. And he's like, oh, everything is its own thing. Like everything acts independently.
And I like how everyone's like, this is a bullshit test, McCready. And he's like, all right. And he puts it on Norris's blood. And it like, that shit scared me. Where he like jumps out of the beaker. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. This scene's so cool. There's so much fucking tension because everyone's like, okay, we know this works. Somebody in this room is a thing. We're about to find out which one of us is infected.
Yeah.
And it should have ended right there. And it would have if it wasn't for the fact that Blair was alone in the shed.
What do you mean?
Because they squashed the thing. Like, I mean, this scene gets pretty chaotic.
Oh.
Like, they test everybody's blood and they find out, like, okay, Palmer was a thing. In that room, the last person in the facility that was still a thing was Palmer.
Yeah.
True.
And damn, this is another cool
happen
kill
in this scene too.
Yeah, like the tension of building the wire, testing the blood. Clark tries to rush McCready, and McCready just fucking Billy the Kid, fucking quick draw McGraw shoots him in the dome like
Dude,
immediately,
no
and
second
then
thought.
he doesn't hesitate, dude. McCready's like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Clark too, because all he wanted to do was fuck those dogs.
Oh man,
Oh
Clark had
man,
all the peanut butter.
yeah. Like, why is this?
Oh
We just got
no.
here. What happened to all the peanut butter?
First week of winter. God damn it, Clark.
Look, they like it. It's a nice little treat.
Oh man, I thought this scene was also had a little bit of comedy in it because we find out Palmer is one of the things, but they're all still tied up to the
Oh, yeah,
fucking couch,
that's right.
and this thing's going crazy and like grew legs, and they're like, "What the fuck? Like, let us go!" Oh man, poor
Even
guys.
everyone's reaction, like when they would, well, except for like Knowles, because they test the Doc's blood, they test McCready's blood and Norris's blood. So like, oh, that's cool. And then they test Windows, and Windows is cool. And I like how he's like, all right, Windows, grab that flamethrower. And then there's just like a pause, and you can see that they like change scenes, and then they both just standing there with flamethrowers like pointing at him. And it
Yeah.
just keeps doing that with every successful person.
Yeah,
And when it gets to was it Childs? He's like, get me the fuck out this goddamn couch. Get me the fuck out. He just like starts getting mad when he finds out that he's real. Oh man. And then when they do find out it's Palmer, though, I think this is the second best kill of the movie. The way it kills Windows
oh yeah,
Yeah.
when its head splits open and it
Comes the
fucking
mouth.
it smashes his fucking skull, and he just starts flinging him around the in the air, kind of reminds me of like a shark eating its prey.
Jaws,
Yeah,
yeah.
like Jaws.
Yeah.
And
That
this
was
is
cool.
is this one where it jumps up to the roof and tries to like crawl around like Exorcist style?
Yeah. And then he burns them, and then he runs out the wall.
Oh, he runs out the wall, yeah.
Yeah.
And they kill him outside, and then fucking Windows gets assimilated super fast too.
He begins to get assimilated. Yeah. And so they burn him while he's sitting.
In the corner, right?
the
he
corner.
just posted up.
Mhm.
He kind of looks like kind of reminds me of one of the infected people in Half-Life with the
Yeah.
head crabs.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I kind of get that vibe from him. And then they burn poor Windows, and then this is another comedic moment because Gary's like, I know you gentlemen have been through a lot today, but can somebody please get me aside from this fucking couch? I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that was like they all got through some shit, and he's like, hurry the fuck up. This whole scene, like this all takes place in like a 10-minute, 15-minute time frame. Like from when the doctor dies up until they untie Gary, it just fucking escalates. It's
Dude,
it's
these classic
good.
films, man, they just build up, and then the last 15, 20 minutes is just pure chaos.
Mhm.
Love it.
And I think it's interesting as we'll see with the Blair scene, how Carpenter manages like the final scene, because it's so in your face with the thing here. You get so much thing. You get the gory kills, the gory thingness, but the last two people to die in the film, they're silent deaths, really. You don't see them. Well, you see one, I guess. You see what happens to Gary, but you don't know what happens to Knowles. It's like the thing goes stealth mode. It's like it realized I can't be, it's going loud isn't working, so I gotta go silent.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah. It adapts.
Oh, and I guess that's something they try to do with this movie compared to the prequel. The prequel is very like action packed. Like the thing goes on the offensive, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
And that
Mhm.
didn't work there. So it tries to go more sneaky with the Americans because just attacking was ineffective because I guess humans fight back pretty good.
Yeah.
They're pretty resourceful at killing shit. So it becomes like we become an issue. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's pretty cool.
And then they're like, all right, we're gonna go give the blood test to Blair. Because he tells Childs, like, all right, Childs, if we don't come back, if Blair comes back without us, burn him. And they're like, all right, cool. So the child stays behind. Knowles, Gary, and McCready all go to Blair's shed to give him the test to see if he's a thing. and they find the shed doors open. So that right there is like, okay, well, it's a thing because only a thing is strong enough to break open. It's like a steel door. And then they find out that he sabotaged the generator room, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because like the
Yeah.
generator's destroyed.
Yeah.
And this is where McCready's like, all right, well, we're only going to have heat for like 5 more hours and it's going to get below 50 inside. He's like, well, none of us are going to make it out of here, but we're damn sure going to make sure that when the rescue team comes in the spring, there's not going to be a thing left for them to find.
Yeah.
So they just fucking destroy the entire camp with dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
And it kind of mirrors what the Norwegians did. They just destroyed their entire camp. They fucking blow everything up and
Come
they go
full
on
circle.
the hunt for Blair. Oh, and then they find his little baby spaceship.
It's so cool. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Like a little sports car spaceship.
I like how there not a lot of time has passed from when they first locked up Blair in that shed to where like everything is fully just gone to shit. But he's already basically built like a small spaceship at that point in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Like,
he
it
worked
was so
fast.
fast. Yeah.
I mean, when they go downstairs, I guess he had like a whole workstation. He'd been slowly like getting supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing, I guess, doesn't really feel the cold. So I guess when it was dark, it could just go out without really worrying because the people weren't going to come outside.
Mm-hmm.
True. And they were in a whiteout, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in a whiteout. It was like super cold. Because then it wasn't supposed to let up for weeks. Damn, what do you think about? So they go on the hunt for Blair and they're like, fuck it. We're just going to blow up the whole camp. So they strategically set up like bundles of dynamite underneath the camp in order to just blow up the whole damn place. When
It's a
in
good
doubt,
strat.
blow it up.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
solid.
And then I think Gary had the worst way to go out. His death was pretty fucking gnarly.
With the hand.
Yeah, when fucking Blair puts his hand in his mouth and like kind of crushes his skull from the inside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was fucking.
It reminded me of the new Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, with the Professor X chick,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Okay.
Niles gets taken out
Spoiler. Yeah.
all quick. Silent death for Niles. I guess they filmed Niles' death, but they cut it because of budget.
Mm-hmm.
But he was supposed to get killed by, they called it the box thing.
Damn.
What does the budget have anything to do with it if they already filmed the scene?
Well, they had it designed, but they cut it out of the
Oh.
script because they had like their budget for special effects was only supposed to be like 12 million and it ended up being 15.
Damn. I mean, it
Or
was great
13.
special effects.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Because not a
Worth
lot of
every
people,
penny.
everyone except for Kurt Russell only got paid 50 grand to be in this movie. Kurt Russell got 400.
Nice.
And then it kind of, I like it. I feel like the one thing that I thought was a little anticlimactic about this movie is the McCready versus Blair fight. Like he just wrecks it like so quickly.
He does. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the thing successfully takes the
Dynamite.
was it the dynamite switch thing?
Mm-hmm.
The TNT where you push it down?
Mhm.
Like it destroys that so he can't blow up the camp. But then when it reveals itself, he just like perfect precision pass throws the dynamite like into its face.
It's a
And it
hat,
just-
dude.
Fucking blows it to chunks. Oh, this is the part where I said I could recognize the CG.
Mm.
When it pops out of the ground, they use CG, and then it's a practical effect when it is the Blair thing.
Mm.
And I like how they have little aspects from all the things that it assimilated throughout the time there, because it has like a dog portion, like a human face, like a fucking weird alien mouth thing, and like
I read-
fucking
The
Go ahead.
final compilation.
yeah, the final compilation.
I saw that it took like 50 people to help
That's-
with this
that's
end
cr-
thing.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Kind of like how Mouth of Madness, it had like the wall of flesh or whatever.
Yeah, the those like creatures running down the hall.
Yeah.
That took a gang of people too.
That's wild. And then we're left with the final mystery. Childs is McCready's just sitting there drinking his J&B, and Child walks up with his flamethrower. They're both staring at each other like, And then McCready's like, "Where were you, Childs?" He's like, "I thought I saw Blair, so I went after him." And he's like, "Well, I think we're both too out of shape to do anything about anything if we were the thing. So Let's just enjoy the fire and see what happens.
Hmm.
And then just
Yeah.
start sharing J and B, and then that's the end of the film.
Kind of reminded me a little bit of the ending of Deep Blue Sea with LL Cool J, and the dude that plays the Punisher, the first Punisher.
Thomas
And
Jane.
yeah, everything's just like destroyed around them. They're
And it's
just
just
kind of
chilling.
chilling. Yeah.
What'd you think of the ending? I mean, it's been an argument if whether or not one of them is the thing or if neither of them are.
I'd
Did
like
you
to
think?
think neither of them were, and they managed to, get rid of it. Feel like they could easily just test each other's blood, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think either of them are a thing either.
I
But
don't
some
know.
people think that Childs is a thing.
Yeah, I think Childs was the thing because he like wandered off.
True.
He was off screen, and Blair was like in the cave with everyone. And so like he walked out of the cave actively. You know,
Yeah.
Who? But Childs didn't go
Childs.
with them down into the cave.
Yeah, Childs was in the cave, and then he was like, I thought I saw Blair, and so he like
No, only Niles, and I thought only Niles, Gary, and McCready went, and Childs was like the watchman.
I thought they were. I thought they all went in there.
No, because he tells him if we come back and if Blair comes out and it's not us, kill
Yeah.
him.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Unless they came back when they came back to get the dynamite, Childs was gone, and like, where the fuck did this dude go?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I like to think that they were both. I mean, either way, they died, but I like to
Yeah.
think that that they both survived the thing and they just died from the cold.
I like that
Yeah.
the movie ends like this though. That it's like still kind of
Yeah, it's a
over
somber
ending.
ending.
yeah.
Yeah, like they sacrifice themselves to beat the thing, but they don't make it.
Yeah. And you don't know for sure if they're still human or not.
So I guess originally, the writer wanted it to make it that they were both the thing, and then it would end with the rescue team coming and then them saying the line, "Do you guys know where I can get a warm meal?" And then that's how the movie would end. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad they didn't do that. That would have been. There was no cheesiness in this movie, and ending it on a cheesy line would have just undercut the whole film.
Yeah. Why that?
I don't. The '80s. I don't know.
You wouldn't know where I can get a warm meal. Yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have been all bad. It's so crazy. This whole ending happened so fast.
It does. It's like 5 minutes, right?
It's like 10 after they decide to go after Blair. It's like the last 13 minutes of the movie.
But it
It's
like
like-
immediately pops off. Like
Yeah,
those two dudes
once the
get
blood
killed.
test happens, that's it. It like
Yeah.
just from there on, it's like, or once McCready
Mhm.
comes with the dynamite, from that point on, it's like I think like 25 minutes of the movie's left. But Tom's right. They built the tension so much that when it just starts popping off, it like really fucking pops off.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn in the beginning, but it's so good.
I wouldn't even consider it a slow burn. I thought the pacing was like very good for this movie.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
like a lot of the beginning, not too much happens, but the mystery is so compelling
Yeah,
that
true.
it keeps you engaged because you're kind of like, oh shit, it just keeps building upon itself. And then we get little appetizers of the thing with the corpse and then the dog, and then you're like, oh shit, it's like, what is this movie? Like, what are they fighting?
Yeah. This movie is so fucking good through and through.
Damn, I guess Keith David, they say he broke his hand before filming started. So for a lot of the movie, he's just wearing a glove that's painted black.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't
Isn't that
even
wild?
notice that.
I didn't notice it either. I was like, oh, I'm gonna look for it next time. But then a lot of the
Damn.
scenes, it seems like they have gloves on anyways, because it's cold as shit.
Yeah.
And I guess it was really important to Carpenter to film on site. So he wanted to film in Alaska where they filmed.
Yeah.
and he didn't want to use the studio because he filmed on site with Halloween, and because it was so successful, he had more like say, in the production company was like, all right, fine, we'll let you do it
Nice.
because it worked so well with him for him the first time.
I saw that this was Keith David's first credited feature role or feature film role.
Yeah, I heard that too. That like this is his big break.
Yeah.
He's really he's really good as Childs in this movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love Keith David.
And also what I love about this movie, I love a movie that like similarly to you're saying with the Deep Blue Sea,
Mhm.
like LL Cool J is just like a side character in that movie. Like he's not one of the main couple people, but he also survives. Like
Yeah.
Childs is more of a side character. Like he's not one of the main dudes who's in like takes up a lot of the scenes, and he ends up being one of the dudes that survives too. I like when they do that.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being Kurt Russell and like the other like main person. And it's a horror movie
Who
with
would
no
you say would
romance.
be the other main person?
Well, I thought it was the Doc, but then the Doc dies because the Doc's like Kurt Russell's right hand man for a while.
True.
Look, take a look at this list. I guess so. The thing was panned when it came out. Everyone thought it was terrible. They thought the decision making, other than the special effects, were too grotesque. The decision making of the characters made no sense. Like, why would you go off on your own? Like, while all this stuff is going on, like, really, people really panned it, and I guess it had a real negative effect on John Carpenter's like confidence in movie making, because he thought
Really?
that this movie was going to be really good, and he's like, yeah, it's gonna like rub some people the wrong way, but he didn't think it was gonna be as bad as it was, because like, I know it's a little grotesque and I know it's a little out there, but people are like, yeah, it's just like a cheap slasher that's trying to like take advantage of the craze started by Alien, because I guess Alien's success in
Mhm.
79 is what revitalized this project, because they're like, oh, a scary alien movie would work. But listen to the sci-fi films that came out the same year. So a couple weeks before this movie came out, E.T. came out, which is considered one of the
Damn.
greatest sci-fi movies of all time. I think E.T.'s mid as fuck. Blade Runner came out the same day, which was also panned and
Oh
is now
shit.
considered a classic. Mad Max 2 came out. Conan the Barbarian came out this year. Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan also came out.
Damn.
And Tron came out this year.
Damn.
Nice.
All these are like considered like classic sci-fi films. All of this Conan Adventure, but still, like, all these are like bangers.
Yeah. That was
That's
a
so
great
wild. What a
fucking
crazy
year.
year, dude. 82, man. The year of sci-fi.
Nice.
And then I don't know if you guys saw the I think you saw it, Twan, the live action anime. They made a live action anime series, Parasite.
I
With
haven't
the
seen that one. Nah, but I know of it.
I've just seen the regular anime.
Parasite the Maxim. So I
Yeah.
guess that the thing inspired that anime.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I can see that.
Well,
Yeah.
remember they had that scene directly where the alien's head splits and it like smashes the chick's
Oh
head.
yeah. Yeah.
No, that's straight taken from the thing.
Nice.
The things also appeared in X-Files, Futurama, the head things in RE4 when you blow up their head and they have the blade. That was also an inspiration.
Mhm.
Among Us is supposed to be a
Among Us.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely had a lasting impact. And it's the first movie in the Apocalypse series. Now we have to watch the third one because we've seen the first and the last.
What's the third?
Remember Carpenter's Apocalypse series? So it's this one. Forget what the middle one was.
This one, Mouth of Madness.
Mouth of Madness is the last one.
Oh, okay.
And the middle one's like Prince of Darkness or something.
I'll check it out. Hold on.
I think it's Prince of Darkness. And I guess originally McCready was supposed to be a Vietnam vet, which explains his like insomnia because he has trouble sleeping, and his alcohol and his like effects towards gruesomeness. Like he's not really affected by the violence because he was in Nam.
Prince of Darkness.
Makes sense.
It is Prince of Darkness, right?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
From a Carpenter podcast.
Hmm.
And then my boy Eepert said that this film was said it was funny, but offering nothing original beyond special effects. What a piece of
Nothing
shit.
original, huh? This
I've
whole
never seen
movie
a
was
movie
original.
that's like the thing.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck is this guy saying? What is he on? Can we all collectively as a podcast just go and jump this fool?
No, Dale loves them.
There's my boy. My road dog right there. Oh, I didn't mention, but this movie had a $15 million budget and it made 4.9. So it made 19.9 million. So it had I guess a 4.9 million gross, which isn't good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
not that good.
Yeah, didn't hit.
Didn't hit,
But it does hit.
It is.
It does
fucking,
now.
I think it got like revisited in the 90s, and that's where it kind of got its started getting its flowers.
Yeah, like our era.
Yeah, our area.
I got a couple more. The film, it was banned when it was originally released. It was banned in Finland,
Fuck
Damn.
yeah, but not in
Right?
Norway.
not in Norway. And they to capture the sound of like the Antarctic winds, they recorded in Palm Springs. So just to kind of speak
Huh.
on your whole desert thing, you know.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's all I got.
That's cool. Fucking Palm Springs is the it can get pretty loud in the desert, dude, when those winds get blowing.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
In the desert.
In the desert.
In the desert. All right. Let's start with our reviews.
Wait, did you read off the Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh yeah, let me read off Rotten Tomatoes. Which surprised me. I thought it was gonna have a higher score. So Rotten Tomatoes gives it an 85%, and IMDb has it at an 8.2. This is one of the higher IMDb scores. 8.2 is pretty
Okay.
high on IMDb.
It is. Yeah. Damn.
85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, I didn't see what the audience score was. I wonder if it's certified fresh.
Audience score.
It's that's the popcorn meter, right? 92.
Yeah.
92.
Nice.
92. All right, so audiences love it.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, it's such a good movie.
It's great. All right, well, so it should surprise nobody. This is my favorite. I'll start off. My favorite horror movie of all time. I like Saya. This is on a yearly rotation. I watch this movie at least once a year. I love it. I give it an A. I think it is John Carpenter's best movie, which I feel like is saying something because John Carpenter is a master at horror. This is arguably my favorite Kurt Russell movie. Arguably, it depends on how I'm feeling. It's either this movie or Big Trouble in Little China. I love this movie. Fucking A. The special effects hold up today. Some of the best special effects in any horror movie, any sci-fi movie, period. I think this movie and Alien, best special effects, like masterclass. This Britain guy or Breton, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Dude's it.
Yeah.
Loved it. I mean, if you go on the Wikipedia, there's literally like multiple pages dedicated to just how they made the special effects work and how good the special effects are. The acting was superb. It's one of the rare horror movies you'll see. I feel like from this era in the 80s, it doesn't have like some sort of like love triangle, love story thing going on. And it doesn't even like it doesn't have a scream queen. It's just like a bunch of everyday research guys trying to fucking combat some alien. It's cool because they're not soldiers. So
Just a bunch of dudes.
yeah, it's just a bunch of dudes.
Dudes being boys.
Scientist guys, and the way they try to like attack the issue, I think was pretty good.
Guys
So I
being
love
dudes.
it. I recommend it to everybody. Definitely watch this movie. If you haven't seen The Thing, give it a chance. It'll be like unlike any other horror movie you've seen before. I can't think of too many horror movies that I can compare this movie to. The level of paranoia and in this movie is just so good. It's a masterclass. A.
Nice.
Why don't you take it? Why don't you go next, Saya?
I give this movie an A. This is another classic Halloween horror movie for me. It's always on my list of things to watch. I feel like I'm going to repeat everything that you said, but I mean, it's everything that you said, right? Like it does all of that so well. Still holds up for it being like an early 80s movie. You can watch this and the practical effects are done so well that it's not. I mean, I guess if you're being real critical of it, like yeah, it looks kind of like cheesy, but that's like I feel like that's the movie, right? Like the whole movie is like it's a creature feature and it does it so well. The detail that's added into it, like it looks slimy and gross and bloody and it just it's really really good. And yeah, the paranoia as well within the group, like when the group starts to turn against each other and everyone just kind of goes all out. I think that that's done really well too. The backdrop of it being in Antarctica, or is it Antarctica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The backdrop of being in Antarctica was really cool too because it's like just complete total isolation while everyone's just getting wrecked. Thought that was really dope. Definitely recommend this movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it, watch it again because it's spooky season. This movie deserves another watch.
Fuck yeah. Come on,
Nice.
finish this off.
Yeah, this is an easy A+ for me.
Back to
I
back A pluses.
fucking dude, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love this movie. These are like top 2 for sure. So just to be able to watch this movie for the pod, love it. Yeah, this is just another one of those amazing movies that you have to see to believe. I think that what makes this movie so great is like the mystery behind all of it, like always asking like who is who and never really being able to trust some of the characters in the movie as, you know, who they say they are. Like just that who done it behind the whole movie itself, just like another great element to it. You know, you take the mystery combined with, you know, the practical effects and put that into a sci-fi horror movie. It's just like so great. Like chef's kiss. It's John Carpenter at like his peak, at his best. And I agree with you, Dale, 100%. I think this is John Carpenter's best movie. It has so many elements to it, but like it never felt like it was too much. It all just worked so fucking well, and it's truly a masterpiece from John Carpenter. You know, he's like if not the best, one of the best when it comes to horror movies. And I don't know why, as a society, we decided to stray away from practical effects. Personally, I just feel like they have a better feel, especially when it comes to horror movies. Uh, I just don't understand why we're so heavy into the CGI these days. If we can just kind of regress a little bit and go back to more practical effects, that would be awesome. But again, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, from the practical effects to the sound design and fucking everything in between, this movie is just like it's one of a kind, and it's the best sci-fi horror movie, in my opinion. I would recommend this movie to everyone. You know, it's not too scary, but it does such a great job in like making you question what's real throughout the movie. So yeah, man, A+ for me again, and surprise, surprise, is probably going to be an A+ for me again next week. So just nip that in the bud.
Hell yeah.
Just to mention real quick, because you were saying how
Resident Evil Revelations an A+.
you were saying how you enjoy practical effects. Alien Romulus, they brought back practical effects.
Oh, that movie's good too.
Yeah,
I saw that.
And it's such a good like throwback to practical effects and like what you can do with
Is it
them.
in streaming yet?
Nah.
No, not yet. But
perfect spooky season.
Yeah,
Right.
Fede Alvarez was like made such a good decision. He brought the whole team back to do all the alien shit again. And if you're a fan of practical effects, you definitely have to watch Alien Romulus because it's really, really great.
All right, Saya. Well, why don't you let us know
what he finally came to a decision.
Favorite horror movie of all time? Of all time, not of this week, not of this year, not of this month, of all time. you had to pick one horror movie to watch all time, what are we watching?
Next week, I'm going to take us on a journey to Hereditary.
Ooh, Hereditary, fucking
Take us
classic.
to
Nice.
2018 Ari Aster's Hereditary, his first directorial debut. It's
What a
fucking,
fucking debut it is, too.
you know, what a
For
way
real.
to come out swinging. One of my favorite movies. I watch this movie so often. Maybe it's just because I live in a constant state of just horror, and I gotta watch something to just wean through it. But I'm gonna force you guys to watch this, and it's gonna be great.
I love
I'm not forcing
Hereditary.
anything.
Yeah, and I
You're
know,
not
and I know
forcing
we're
anything.
gonna
It is a
enjoy it.
genuinely scary movie, too.
Yeah.
Like, Hereditary is scary.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I mean, I've seen it so many times, but I think now that I get to talk about it and kind of like analyze it, I think it's gonna be even better
it's gonna-
to do.
The scariest movie of the pod, probably.
Yeah. So get ready. That's
Fuck
what we'll
yeah.
do next week.
Fuck yeah, Hereditary. All right, guys. So thank you for joining us this week as we covered 1982's The Thing, my personal favorite horror movie. It got rave reviews from the three of us. This is our highest scored movie to date, with 2 A's and 1 A+. Because last week I gave Texas Chainsaw an A-. So joining us next week as we cover Saya's favorite horror movie, Hereditary, and Saya's going to take the lead on that episode and run us through his favorite movie. Just a quick reminder, guys, if you want to donate and support the pod, you can click the donation link at the bottom of every episode. But if you can't donate, that's totally cool. We produce the pod for you guys. We love making the pod. We love joining you guys every week and talking about movies. And we're just happy to continue our Halloween bonanza. If you haven't followed us on our social medias, please do so. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Twitter /X, YouTube, and TikTok. As always, I have been your host, The Dale, followed by my 2 co-hosts, Mr. Saya
Bye-bye.
and Twan.
Candy corn was originally called chicken feed.
Bye.
Bye.
Holy shit.